Got a nice quick little 1 hour stream today. Gonna talk about the live stream tonight. Just talk a little bit about the packs. I see a couple orders have already come in, but those packs are available. Let me get it is linked in the description, but let me get a link pinned just throughout this live in case anyone wants to buy any packs. How's it going, Garen? Super Saiyan TCG, Skya, Leaf Green Goblin, Mr. Walrus, Beerski. Sorry, I got my music way too loud in my ear. There we go. How's it going, Ponga? Graham the Cracker Man. The reason I'm doing 2 lives today, it is almost the end of May, and unless I'm mistaken, I don't believe I've done a pack live stream yet this month, right? I'm gonna actually look back. Maybe I have, but I wanted to make sure I hit my monthly pack stream, which I didn't. I just verified my last rip and ship was April 26th. So consistency is big for me. If I don't stay consistent with something, I'll just completely get out of it, and I'll let myself I'll let my YouTube channel become Old Skool Pokemon's YouTube channel if I miss a couple of my scheduled postings. So I do have a lot of packs too. I mean, if people want to hang out, if people want to rip packs, I do have them. So from a business perspective, I've got the inventory. I may as well sell it. From a consistency perspective, if I keep up with that one a month, I'll keep up with it. If I start falling off, I'll be another dormant YouTube channel. So I'm gonna try not doing that. Monthly cash grabbing stream. Let me I did get a CGC return. I haven't really shown any returns or send-offs lately. I was doing those as videos, but I was doing those as videos for a long while, and then it just got to where, like, I don't think it's that interesting to just show the inventory that's all going to hit my eBay. There's really no, like, PC anymore. Nothing too crazy. This recent CGC sub, I will say, 2 days. I think I shipped it 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago today. From when it landed at CGC, it was shipped within like 2 days. The longest part of the return shipping was the fact that they use registered mail. But high quantity. I did not only get 10s. I also got 9s and 9.5s. I got the random 8.5. But pretty much just like quantity of liquid cards. Common, frequently selling cards. I did also send some of these to BGS, and I did also send some of these to PSA. Cards that I just always want to have in stock. So a little bit about sorry, Garen, I will answer your question too. I just wanted to wait till a few people got in here. I see a couple questions coming in. I very much appreciate, as always, when people put the big stop signs so I don't miss them. But yeah, CGC return was nothing spectacular today. It was 100 cards. The most spectacular part about it was that I sent the cards 2 weeks ago, and it just feels so good to get inventory back so quickly. And honestly, at the end of the day, like, as a collector, I love their product so much more than any other company. The clarity of the case, and I know the whole blue label thing, whatever. I don't really agree with people's distaste for the blue label, but that is what it is. So yeah, I wanted to show quickly. These things will be hitting my eBay soon. Some I actually hit it before I went live. I've got some packs behind me that I'll show a little bit of what I'm ripping later. But yeah, let me hit a couple of these questions now, because we're not hanging out too long. Garen wants some tax advice. My first year on eBay, not sure what eBay's end of year statement looks like, but I have a spreadsheet going with all the sales, keeping tabs of all the purchase prices, eBay fees, shipping cost, etc. Am I overdoing it with keeping track of it all? I know I need to document purchase price I paid for an item, but as far as documenting all the eBay fees, am I wasting my time? You can pull annual summaries the same way you can pull, I don't know if you're pulling them weekly or monthly, maybe you mentioned. But you can pull them at any time. I think they do drop off after like 2 years or something. But up until April 15th of 2024, you will definitely be able to pull a full, thorough documentation of your 1099 reconciliation, every transaction that goes into it. They don't track refunds, so make sure you're tracking what you're refunding as you go, because that is a separate line on your 1040 or whatever they call it, Schedule C. But you're probably doing more than you need to, but I think doing more than you need to is better than not doing enough. So honestly, I wouldn't say like completely stop altogether. I would talk with your accountant or your tax filing professional of choice. If you don't have one, I would recommend you get one. If you don't want to get one, be more cautious than anything. I mean, again, especially if you're going it alone, which I wouldn't recommend, I would be more cautious and I would do more than I thought I had to be safe, so that I'm not scrambling. You will get your 1099s and everything by like February 1st, February 15th, whatever the deadline is. So you do have like 2 months to do it. They give you like a lot of time to do it. You have 2 months. So being proactive is very recommended. That I will say. One thing a lot of people do or think you need to do, I bought a $25,000 binder card, 25,000 card binder collection. $50,000 somewhere in there. 48,000, 23 for the Pokemon, 25 for the non-Pokemon. I do not attribute a certain dollar amount to each card. And then when you further add complexity by grading some, consigning some, shout out actually Sky That One Guy. Sky That One Guy is here in the chat right now. He currently has my Buddy Fight. He currently has my Vanguard. So he is doing like a consignment relationship with me, selling some of my cards through TCG Player. And there's not like a spreadsheet that individually allocates one portion of that $48,000 purchase to each item. I think some people get way overboard on tracking item by item. If you have a small amount of items, if you have 100 items or less in your eBay shop, if you buy single cards, grade them, and then sell them, you can. But like at the end of the day, like if your accountant wants you to, then I guess do it. If your accountant is recommending you do it, then do it. But once you get to a certain like level and quantity, and it's not remotely feasible. Like no one is doing that. David Adams Card World, Troll and Toad does not have a master spreadsheet of their 5 million, 10 million items. Or Comsi has like 11 million cards listed. A lot of those are on behalf of other people. But there does not exist a spreadsheet where I have every penny allocated towards my inventory. There's a fair bit of like estimation that goes in. And but yeah, I think I covered that one pretty thoroughly. Again, shout out Sky That One Guy. He has his own YouTube channel. He does a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think he's going to actually feature some of my cards from Vanguard and Buddy Fight in a YouTube video. So go check out his TCG Player. Go check out his YouTube channel if you want to see any of that. Yo, Daniel, OSP is failing me on the Miriam pull. Can you do it? I might be able to. Have you bought any packs? There are packs available. Let me open up my Shopify. I have it somewhere. Somebody went for Crown Zenith pretty heavy. Someone bought... I forget the name in the chat, but it's Postponer. Someone bought 4 lots of 9 Crown Zenith. That's actually the only order right now. So one multi-quantity order. I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight, but if orders are rolling in and we're going, I mean, it might be a few hour stream. If it's fairly slow, I might just do like an hour or something. I know I'm live at 8:30, and then I know like Nostalgianomics and Radar, which I will, if I don't watch any of it live, I mean, if I'm late, I'll just hop in late and then watch it, and I'll watch the rest the next day. But I do want to listen to that. I followed both those guys. Jonathan Perry says, I have my business registered and did the paperwork for resale tax exempt. I only have about 100 to 150 in card value. Should I start listing on eBay or wait till I have some more value? I think there's no time too soon to start listing on eBay. Start seeing if you enjoy it. I mean, maybe you'll stop scaling up. Maybe you'll stop putting down the foundation if you realize you just hate it. If you absolutely hate it and you're not for you, and it's not for you, I'd rather find that out sooner than later. But yeah, get those feedback rolling in. Get the orders, get the flow, figure out what you want, how you want to lay out your office. your label printer and your packing supplies, and the sooner the better. Don't like I think a lot of people, I am one who's been talking about it a lot. I'm 19 years into my eBay account. I'm 8 years into selling Pokemon cards specifically on eBay. This is the first year that I've listed 10 a day every day. I think some people are hearing the whole be consistent thing that Daily Refinement puts out. Shout out to Retrospecs. He loves talking about Daily Refinement. But I think a lot of people hear that and they get really discouraged because they can't quite meet that. I'm only meeting it for the first time this year. This will be the first year. I've still not missed a day of at least 10. Some days I've done 100, but every day it's been 10. If that number's 1 for you, if that number's 10 a week for you, or 10 a month, anywhere like is a start, right? So just if you have good items priced well, they will sell. eBay is a massive, amazing platform. So like, don't get discouraged because like social media, the whole comparison is the thief of joy, all that stuff. Like, don't look at other people, what they're doing, having been there for longer, having built bigger. Don't get discouraged. And I'm not saying you are specifically, but like I almost get a little bit of a like, I don't have enough to get going vibe off this. And I have seen that sentiment around quite a bit in Discord and different YouTube live chats and stuff. But Graham says, I feel like you're personally attacking me. I don't know what this was with respect to, but sorry if that was me. Eldub says, what's your Nagaba count at? I'm at 100, but need more. So I bought 450 last night at about $10 a piece average. And then people were talking this morning that they were at like 6 a piece average. By the time I went in slightly after lunch, I think they were back up to like 7. Because I think a lot of the Pokemon centers are sold out now. So I think people heard that they were sold out. They went and they bought a bunch more. I bought another 300 or so, I think, at 7 each. So I'm in at like 750 for like 850 a piece average and 9 a piece average, somewhere in there. Oh, Graham the Cracker Man says, my last video was me saying I'm back. That was over a year ago. It's, I mean, again, everyone has, I'm full time. I have little to no excuse. And a lot of people, they'll come and they'll go, and they'll have ebbs and flows to their posting schedule. But like me personally, I'm gonna make a video about it at some point. It actually might be the video that comes out Monday on Memorial Day. I need to record like tonight or tomorrow a video because I'm gonna be traveling for the weekend a bit. But you just gotta do you, right? What I know I need to do for myself, just knowing who I am, I need to stay regular, or else I'll just let it go, and I don't want to let it go. Like, I'm really having a fun time with this, and I think it's good for the business. So, Stevie TCG says, I'm Team PK when it comes to CGC. They hurt me bad back in the day. I do like the quality of the slabs, though. This isn't RuneScape, whack. Why is this RuneScape streamer talking about Pokemon cards? One thing I'll say too, like I don't delete emails, so I have every email going back to 2014 of every Pokemon card I've ever bought. eBay loses a lot of things. My email has them all. My email has them all. Every year I do make it a point though. I need to for taxes anyways. I download the entire thing. I save the spreadsheets. I have one master spreadsheet that has literally every transaction from 2014 to today. It's way too big of a file. I do annual files and then I just chuck them in the big one too. But I don't know if Excel has a limit on how many rows it'll go, but I'm in the tens of thousands easily. Get a good CPA, absolutely. If it's your first time, keep doing it. As time goes on, you'll learn what best to document and what eBay does. Yeah, in the first time, filing will be a learning experience too. Whether you're doing it yourself or whether you're doing it with a professional, it'll be like they'll ask you questions that you won't have the answer till, and then you'll need to figure out how to answer them. And it's or the first time you're in TurboTax, however you're doing it, I would recommend with a professional because I've done it by myself and it's gone poorly. But yeah, at the end of the day, you gotta make your own decision and go ahead with it. I really like adding codes to eBay listings to connect them to a collection buy to make the auditing clean. Yeah, I do that periodically. Like the I don't track collection by collection every buy that I make, and it's not for tax purposes. It's more just for like YouTube video purposes. But like that 25K non-Pokemon collection, every card that came from that collection that I'm selling on eBay has a 25K at the end, because it's just an easy way to filter out. I'm always going to remember what it means. And it allows me to do like a recap video showing where I'm at. Collectible accounting, says Jonathan Perry. Let me know if you need an accountant. Seems like we have an accountant ready to go in the chat. Bullish on Ethernet cables. I'm in UK. Love your channel, mate. I'm currently looking Charizard UPC for £86. Do you think they will stay below 100 for much longer? Also, thoughts on Radiant EV collection box under 40. I like the Charizard UPC under. I mean, I'm able to get it. I'm able to get it wholesale right now for $84.50. I'm able to get it privately for $75 to $80. So I've stopped buying my wholesale 12-a-week allocation, and I think I'm somewhere up around 200 boxes right now. It's a lot. I'm probably mostly done. If they ever went to 60 or 50, like I would have to just buy a ton and start breaking them down for the Evolving Skies and other packs and stuff. I'm selling the Charizard promo packs for like 30, 35 bucks on eBay alone. So it wouldn't even make sense that they could go much lower unless something crazy is really happening. But I don't. All that said, I have 200 of them. A lot of people have a lot of them. It was massively printed. It would not overly shock me if that is under 100 2 years from now. It also would not overly shock me if that is over 200 2 years from now. It's dead money for me right now. I broke some amount down. I'm selling some stuff as pieces, but at the end of the day, like, I'm willing to wait it out. It's all like a cash flow consideration. I would not buy it as like an investment. I'm not seeing it as like an investment. I have a certain amount of cash flow that I allocate towards like the slow burn things, the long-term things, and 15-ish thousand, 20,000 is sitting in Charizard UPCs right now, which I'm comfortable with. It's all about your scale. It's all about your cash flow. There's no right or wrong answer until we have hindsight, and then we'll know what was right, what was wrong, right? So fortunately, we don't have hindsight today. How's it going, Ernesto? Sell and find what you don't like about it and try to fix and make enjoyable. For me, it's shipping. Yeah, one great thing we have, and I will like pump my own consignment. I have big news coming up soon. I know James has alluded to some big news he has coming up. I have strong reason to believe that him and I have access to some of the same stuff. But my bread and butter is Buy It Now consignments anyways. Buy It Now consignments will be getting cheaper and more attractive. Basically, I will be becoming a middleman facilitating a consigner's items entering the eBay vault. There's a strict minimum value of the cards, like list price and recent solds over $250. But I'm gonna make more formal. I'm gonna make like a short announcing it. I'm gonna make a nice, like, I'm gonna get somebody to edit me a nice, just concise document, like a graphic that shows the fee rates and all that. But it will probably just be 5% flat. 5% flat. I will sell anything $250 plus. It will be through the vault. There will be like caveats. It takes longer to get it listed. There's less visibility to international sellers because of like the whole beta vault thing. But selling for 5% as opposed to my base 20%, it's obviously attractive. My base is 20% up to $2,500, and then 5% thereafter. So 5% on every dollar after $2,500. It will just be 5% flat. I might do a higher threshold, 5,000, 10,000. I might do like slightly less than 5% even, but I'm leaning towards just like 5% flat is what I'll advertise. If and when you have something like really big, if you have a PSA 10 Rayquaza Gold Star, PSA 9 base first Charizard, we can probably negotiate something slightly better than that even, but the baseline will just be 5% flat. What percentage fee from eBay would make you consider a different platform? That's like a bad question to answer. Several months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, I was saying I would pay Troll and Toad Evo a lot more. And ultimately, they doubled their fees, and then they raised them a bunch again, and now they're booting me off the platform. So I don't want to precipitate eBay raising their fees substantially. I don't want to precipitate eBay booting me off their platform, doubling their fees, tripling. I think eBay provides amazing value for what they do, though. I think FeeBay 12%, way too much money, blah blah blah. Like at the end of the day, I know if I go put a table on my front lawn with all my inventory and try to sell it, I live on a dead end road. Nothing's gonna sell ever. I know if I post in Facebook groups, I can have all these people wheeling and dealing, PayPal friends and family, goods and services, knock off 20%, knock off this, not paying sales tax, not doing things properly, by the books, legally. I don't want to mess with any of that game. eBay is the way to go. In the past, I used to, if somebody would find me on YouTube, if somebody would find me on Instagram, wherever, I would take eBay inventory off and I would do like PayPal goods and services deals for items they found outside of eBay, all that. I don't do that anymore. Everything is sold through eBay now. I do my pack streams, like tonight's a pack stream that's going to go through my website. If I could do that through eBay, I would. And honestly, eBay Live. eBay Live, in the coming months, my monthly pack rip stream could transition to eBay Live. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not going to put out a number because I don't know exactly, and I don't want it to happen. I don't want my fees to go up. I'm actually working towards getting my fees down, hopefully. But Grimer Collect says 20 to 25%. It's hard to say. Yeah, it's hard to put an exact number. Jonathan Perry says, so I've been selling for a couple years now on eBay, but I'm switching to exclusively TCG and video games. I feel like the cards I have aren't good movers. That's what my problem is, I think. Any suggestion? Liquidity is huge. Liquidity matters. I was talking on Pokeflips with Nick with Old Skool. My turnover, my inventory turnover at like by dollars is roughly like, it's sub 2. It is very, very low. So say someone had $10,000 in value, just for anyone who doesn't know what that means exactly. Let's use 12,000 because it's a cleaner number when you go by monthly. So say I have $12,000 worth of inventory. If I'm making 1,000 in sales a month, that means I'm selling 12,000 annually with a $12,000 average inventory valuation. New stuff coming in, old stuff going out, constantly in flux, but the average being 12,000. That would be an inventory turnover ratio of 1. Some industries, I mean, retail, grocery stores, they have turnover ratios of like 24. 24 would be you sell your whole inventory valuation 2 times a month. I mean, if you have a $10,000 average inventory, to have an inventory turnover of 24 on an annualized basis, you'd be selling $240,000 a year. My inventory turnover is sub 2. I want to get that number up. I want to get that number up to at least 2, if not higher. I've my whole backlog talk, there's some amount of cards I strategically sit on. Some people would say I invest in them. I say I'm just slightly longer term flipping them. But that's partially why my turnover is so low. Because there's some high-end stuff. A lot of that stuff moved last year, though. And it's not going to be as big of a drag this year. As far as, like, my overall inventory valuation is actually lower as of today, probably, than it was 8 months ago this time. Just because of some of those big sales. But, lot of rambling, a lot of backstory that wasn't asked for. But liquidity is huge. So if you have stuff that aren't good movers, try to get out of them and get into better movers is I guess all I would say. And like one thing that I just showed earlier, these things are pretty good movers. These things are, people like 10s, people like big numbers. I know that they're not the red cases. The red cases are generally more liquid, but these things still have a place in my business. These things will sell better than my mid-era Diamond and Pearl PSA 8 hollows, PSA 9 hollows, than some of my WotC stuff. WotC's pretty liquid too. A lot of people crap on WotC, but there's quite a bit of liquidity in WotC too. But anyways, yeah, try to just find the better movers and try to build your inventory more on what moves. But again, it's all a function of cash flow and how much time you have and this and that. I know somebody suggested, Badly Super says, fix Pikachu poster, it tilted a little. I actually lost it. I have the, I ordered that tax stuff that someone suggested, and I still haven't put it on. I think I lost it. I ordered it, it came in, I put it somewhere so I wouldn't lose it, and now obviously it's lost. But these things constantly just like, they tweak just a tiny bit. I will get that tack on. Walks in on tax talk and backs away slowly. Oh, man. Any strategies on selling illiquid slabs that keep dropping price by other sellers? If you think like a year from now, your slab is going to drop 50% in value, I am not an auction guy, but there is merit to auctions. For items that are super liquid, for items that are just going to go down from here, there is absolutely merit to auctioning them, completely paper handing them, getting rid of them. I should do it more than I do. I do it not at all. I've not auctioned my own personal item in over a year. Close to a year and a half now. I think I did a YouTube video on it. Early 2022, January of 2022, I believe was the last time I auctioned any of my own items. So auctions are forced liquidity. When you put it up for 99 cents, no reserve, just let it go, free shipping. You might not like your price, but if you need that cash flow, if that cash flow being tied up is keeping you from making other plays, it's worthwhile to do it. Thankfully, I'm at a point where like my cash flow is pretty solid. There's not too many times, if ever, that I'm like, oh man, I wish I could buy more of these. I have to pass on that collection because I don't have the capital. Very, very rare at this point. Where can I get Unigaba EV cheap? What's cheap? I mean, they're on eBay. They're on Japanese websites. More risk on Japanese websites, but cheaper. And eBay is more expensive, but like more straightforward, and you get buyer protection. So wherever you want to. Yeah, that was a nice live last night with Thrifty and PK. Bullish on Thrifty for sure. Do you have any advice for getting into pricier cards? 1 to 10K. A career change this year will significantly increase my buying power, so I want to do some research beforehand. eBay Authenticity Guarantee has greatly reduced the risks at the higher end. So I will just say, like, it used to be scary for me even. It used to be scary to sell a $5,000 card, knowing that that was like X amount of days or weeks worth of cash flow. Year over year, like it's become less of a significant percentage, but it's also like the risk is just, it's not completely risk free. You still got to get it to eBay Authenticity Guarantee, but that takes so much risk out of it. It's great. And there are some amazing high liquidity cards in the 1 to 10K range. I myself am trying to get my average item price up higher, and I'm trying to focus more in that 1 to 10K range, both with my personal items and with consignments. That's why I'm going to be selling them for 5%. How about the RCS premium boxes? They're cool. I mean, if you're talking about like investing, I'm not an investor in them. I have a handful of them. I've got one right there, but cool product. 5:17 a.m. just to get a piece of a live Dan. Worth it. Thanks for joining. Cheers for the insight. So do you think going all in for the Celebration UPC at 370 pounds is a closed door now? I've talked about it a lot of times. I don't look in the review. There is more stuff in Pokemon to buy today that I can't afford all of it. So like, why am I going to look back at something that's already 4x or 5x when today I can buy tons of things at the ground floor pricing? Like right now, you can buy Charizard UPCs at the ground floor pricing. Is it as good of a product? No, but the price is a lot better in my opinion. So there are a lot of things I will miss out on, but you can't catch them all. You will not catch every 10x. You will not own everything. You will sell some stuff early. You will buy stuff too high. Like you will have some L's, but at the end of the day, like I don't look back. I bought 100 of them through my distributor. I sold all but like 4. I have like 4 left right now. But once those are gone, it's done, it's over. I'm buying the new stuff coming out. I'm buying the new stuff and I'm going to make my margin on it and keep looking forward. What happens on current consignments then? Can we transfer over? Yes, I will be putting out, again, I will be putting out a couple of videos, probably early June, but it will be like a once monthly submission. Again, it's facilitated through the eBay vault. There are a lot of like caveats. There's a lot of loopholes. There's a lot of fine print, I guess. Whereas when you ship to me regularly for my eBay thing, I list it within a couple days. It's there. It's more obvious. It's eBay's, like eBay is in the full-fledged operational stage. It's been around for decades. eBay Vault is brand new, so it's very much in like a beta stage. It's more finicky with the titles. It's more finicky with which buyers can even access it. Rusty has actually talked about it multiple times live. I know James has mentioned a couple of things here and there as well. But yes, for any consigners who currently have inventory with me, meeting the minimum threshold of $250, I will be reaching out to them in the coming weeks before I go with my public video on facilitating the transfer of the items to the vault and then getting that, like unlocking that lower fee. Any reason why you have the RCS premium in the back? I have I have 100 these at $60 buy price. Thoughts on this longer term? I don't really get into speculating on that. I just have it because it's a cool looking product and I put it back there. I always have had the idea that I would be more regular in changing up the background, but I never am. So it's been there for like months now, I think. But it's a cool product. I'm not investing in it. I'm not buying anymore. One thing I don't like about that product, I had to pay full retail. I did not get like access at a cheaper price than anyone else. So I generally like to just buy stuff that I'm getting wholesale or buying collections I get at X% of market, anything like that. Hit the like button, you monsters. Appreciate you, Thrifty. I'll hit the like button myself. Hopefully that's allowed. Hopefully I'm not breaking the YouTube rules, but we got 26 now. eBay fee is super reasonable for collecting, demoting sales tax. Collecting and remitting sales tax must be, and advertising well worth it. Yeah, I agree. Sweet, I can send Dan my PSA 10 reverse crystal ho-oh. If you'd like to, yeah, absolutely. That would be an item that would certainly qualify. How are you deciding to send to CGC versus PSA on cards? So as I mentioned before, I have high quantity of all of these cards. These cards are very accessible, very achievable. I bought a lot of them. I don't want to say exactly how many of each. Quite a few, though. Quite a few. I sent some amount to BGS, some amount to CGC, some amount to PSA. PSA is like, so say you're in college, say you're in, and you're choosing which section you want to be in. You always want to look for the later in the day classes. You don't want to have to wake up at 8 a.m. in college. No one wants to do that. You also look for the easiest grading professor. PSA is that professor that is the easiest grader, and they have like the 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is too late, like the 2 p.m. schedule. You can get up, eat lunch, go to class. You want to grade the easier ones with PSA because you know you're going to get the 10s. You're not going to always get the 10s. You're going to get some amount of 9s, 8s, the usual 6s. But I try to send my best of the best of the best to BGS for that black label. We'll see how it pans out. I might get destroyed. But at the end of the day, I send my best of the best to BGS. And then CGC and PSA pretty much get similar. I mean, perfect premiums are nowhere near as high as black labels, generally speaking. But they are higher on a lot of cards than they are like PSA 10. Significantly higher, some of them. So I buy a large quantity. I do some amount to CGC. So I get them back 2 weeks later and I get them listed. And I do some amount to PSA that I'll get back 2-3 months later. And they'll be like a high 10 rate, a much higher 10 rate than either BGS or CGC. And then BGS, I send them out. I might get them later this year. I might get them in 2030. Hopefully there's some percent of black labels in there. But that's more of like a long-term throw it in the black hole and see what happens later deal. Thoughts on the Devils not being able to score against Bobrovsky after knocking out your Rangers? It is not NHL season, so I don't know what you're talking about. I've not watched a minute of hockey since the Rangers exited because the season officially ended then. Thoughts on taking out a home equity line of credit to sell 99-cent singles? I do not like debt, so I do not like that idea. See you later, Ponga. Probably already gone now. It was only 5 minutes ago, so maybe not. But Gordon says, do you dethatch your lawn in the spring? I mow it. My lawn grows so well. I don't do anything special, no chemicals of any kind. My neighbors are actually very particular with he's out there spraying dandelion by dandelion while I'm upwind of him and uphill. So like he's doing all this crazy stuff, and meanwhile I'm mowing down my dandelions with the big white puff balls, sending the seeds flying all over his lawn. He probably doesn't like me very much over my whole lawn situation. But other than that, I'm a good neighbor, I think. But yeah, I just literally mow it every few days. I don't do anything special. PSA 10 lawn. I still have cards at PSA that I sent in 2021. Do you have any stuck there or know of anyone else in the same boat? I do not have any there that I'm aware of. I am 99% confident I do not have any remaining there. I think it was like 6 or 7 months ago, if not slightly longer, that I got my final ones back. I have talked to Rusty, though. I've talked to like... I guess I won't mention other names. I've talked to other people who have some still from 2021. I don't know if everyone wants to be public with how many they had sent and that some of theirs are still out. But yeah, more international people that sent through like Graded Gem UK or Ludkins UK. I think those ones were affected even worse. But I know of some domestic people that sent 5 figures worth quantity, and they still don't have all theirs back. I don't know what is going on with all that, but thankfully mine is all back. You're saying it's easier to get a 10 from PSA than CGC. Way easier, like laughably easier. I can actually pull up some data if you don't agree. I don't know if you're asking out of curiosity. With all the question marks, I almost feel like you're surprised by it. So yeah, let me know if you want me to show some data, because I could pull up some data and show on stream. But it's significantly easier to get PSA 10s. There could be like very fringe niche examples of cards where the PSA 10 rate is lower than CGC 10, or sorry, yeah, lower than the CGC 10 rate, but that would definitely be an exception situation, not the rule. Does eBay Vault walk your subs, play with them, and make sure they have plenty of treats? Slabs, you must mean? Does it walk your slabs, play with them, and make sure they have plenty of treats? I'm hoping that the eBay Vault is very nice, dark, cool storage, insured, fireproof, all that good stuff. Probably a very lonely existence for your cards, but thankfully they'll have a lot of other cards to play with. I do have kind of like a trial thing going on. I did do a trial sale of a Celebrations Charizard, not CGC, but one of these in PSA 10. I did a trial buy it now sale, and it sold successfully. You might see it pop up on a YouTube channel somewhere. You might not. I don't know if he's going to show it, but kind of like a test sale I did with somebody. I was trying to just sell it to eBay, just anyone on eBay. The title was really bad, but I did get, I sent two. I sent 2 PSA 10 of these in. One, I didn't have the title edited. I just listed it as a buy it now. Nice thing about buy it now is like a bad title can ruin an auction and give you a really low price. Worst case with a buy it now, it's like you're not going to sell it low. You just might not sell it at all. But I linked it to a friend who ended up buying it. And the other one that I had in there, I fixed the title on. I had the title fixed, which is a very tedious process. I can't even do it manually. It's someone else doing it manually. And that one's being auctioned. So that one's being auctioned starting tomorrow night. I'm very interested to see how the eBay Vault auction performs. But I will be posting about that like on my Instagram story just to get more attention. And I'll probably like bias. I'll bias the results because I'll be like pumping that auction. But JJ1989 says, I thought it was harder and that's why PSA cards were worth more. PSA 10s are generally, it all depends on the card. CGC Perfect 10s are almost universally, again, there could be fringe cases, there could be one-off auctions where CGC Perfect 10s underperform PSA 10s. I would be highly surprised. But I guess there was the one notable example of a Pristine. Pristines even oftentimes are worth as much or close. Not really. I guess they're harder to get, but they're worth less, which is an interesting dynamic. Because I will just say, like, I sell PSA 10s of this card for like $250. I think I just listed this CGC 10 for like $140 or $130, and I think this card is about $100, PSA 10, and I think I listed my Pristine 10 at about $100. So it varies on the card, but overall, like, PSA is absolutely easier to grade, much higher 10 rate, but it doesn't really matter. Like, part of the reason that the margins can't be arbitraged lower quicker are because there's a 2-month turnaround time. When you can turn around cards in under 2 weeks, the margin will be arbitraged away. I mean, people will capitalize on that and the margin will go away. So PSA, BGS, Black Labels especially, they have this interesting dynamic where people can't get them so quick, so the prices last longer. Jay, you're about to realize how the grading world makes no sense. Thoughts on eBay Live? I really like it. It's cool. I really like how they intend to keep it. I don't know if it forever will be more restricted, but I kind of hope it is. And that's not just like I want myself to get it. I want Nick to get it. I want certain people that get it and not others. But I think you should have to have an eBay account in good standing. I think you should have to have an eBay like top rated seller account. I don't think it should just be like you can create a new eBay account and same day you can create an eBay Live and go live and start doing spin wheels and this and that gambling. I hope on eBay, like, a booster pack is gambling enough. Like tonight I will be opening booster packs. And there's enough gambling built into booster packs already. We don't need to add bounties. We don't need to add spin wheels. We don't need to do all that. So at the end of the day, I'm hopeful that eBay will just be like a cleaned up version of Whatnot and do it properly. So I'm bullish on that. I really like that a lot. If and when it makes sense for me to do it as a business, I might periodically do eBay lives. I don't yet have access to it. Obviously, Nick does. I think Nick is actually live. Is Nick live right now? I think, no, tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I saw his Instagram story earlier. I think he's live tomorrow. 80 watching, only 30 likes. Smash that like button. People, you know the drill. Appreciate you, Retro. Did you see the update from Graded Gem UK? Did you see that Connor has to now sell his own collection because people won't pay for their submissions? I did not see that. I don't know if it's on YouTube or what it is, but that's part of the risk, right? I mean, there should have been known risks going into it of people ultimately like not paying for it. I just added it to my watch later. I actually hadn't seen their January update either, but I added their January update and their May update to my watch later for YouTube. But it's documented somewhere, probably multiple places, probably on YouTube. It's probably documented on YouTube, on Discord, on E4. I said a long time ago that there would come a day where people abandon their submissions. They were not worth the grading fee. Like I guessed that people would abandon their submissions. I mean, I had some that I would have been financially incentivized to abandon them. I would have made out better by not paying the money to get them back. Not by a lot, but there were some really ugly ones. And at the end of the day, like 2 years is such a long time. Some amount of these people, I mean, it's very morbid, very sad, but some amount of these people aren't around anymore. For one, some amount of people moved. They don't use that email address anymore. Some amount of people abandoned it on accident. They just literally forgot about it. Like, we can't wrap our minds around how someone could forget about it. But like, this is our life. I mean, for me, this is my livelihood. Anyone watching, 91 people watching this right now at 4:12 on a Wednesday afternoon, you are in this way deeper than the average Graded Gem middleman, submitter, customer was. So it's not surprising at all. Like, how people didn't see this coming blows my mind, because it was inevitable, in my opinion. It was insane. 2020 was and a lot of what went on in 2020, it's going on to some extent, but anyways. Does the Yu Nagaba Japanese box have all the cards, or I'm a bit confused, or do you have to buy the cards separately? I'm buying packs. I'm just buying lots of 10 or 30 or 50 or 100 packs. I don't think the box has the cards in it. I'm not positive, though. How do I get my toddler to potty train? He's very reluctant and at an age where he should be off diapers. If you find out, let me know, because my son is fully potty trained now, but he was late. I think I was fairly late to potty train 30 years ago. But my daughter is I mean, every kid has different developmental stages, and every kid does things at their own pace. And yeah, I'm talk to your pediatrician. They will know how to steer you on. Thoughts on the potential debt ceiling crisis? Overblown. I think I'm 33. I'm 33. This has got to be the 30th time I've heard stuff about the debt ceiling crisis. Maybe 20th, maybe only 20th, but every time it's worked itself out. That doesn't mean it will this time, but like, I think it will. I'm not doing anything differently because of the looming debt ceiling crisis. Nothing personally, nothing business-wise. Maybe I should be, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't control it, so I'm not worrying about it. It'll get sorted out. Let me appreciate you, Amplitude. Gifted 50 memberships. Absolute madman. Let's see all the lurkers' names. Everyone go check out the live chat to see who's lurking. We got one guy's name is Lurkin Lowry, so he's got it right in his name. I guess they. I see the old card shop is lurking back there. A lot of names lurking. Appreciate you, Amplitude, though, as always. It's always fun. It's always fun to see who's lurking back there. Tried a new recipe of bruschetta with cherry tomatoes in the oven. Divine, bro. Very bullish on bruschetta. Do I have any thoughts on the Paldea Evolved upcoming set? I'm one who doesn't like to look at spoilers, so I don't even fully know what's coming. I try to just experience the set as it comes out. I'm taking my whole allocation, so I guess I'm bullish to an extent, because I'm bullish enough to like buy my whole allocation, which is pretty significant. So Um, eBay Live's strength is in the platform itself and exclusivity. Yeah, for sure. If and when they ever get to a future where there's just like 500 TCG people live, and you'll have the few at the top who have 100 viewers, 50 viewers, and then you'll just have like a ton of people streaming to like 1 to 10 people, nobody. I don't know how it could be sustainable if it was just wide open to anyone. They should set some minimum threshold, top rated seller, account in good standing for X amount of days, months, however long. And then I think that would be a more sustainable, more beneficial platform, in my opinion. um, 33, Dan is old man. A lot of thank yous to Amplitude. How's it going, Radar? I mentioned your live earlier. I scheduled mine, I think, before you guys had probably been talking for a couple days, but I didn't know about it. So I scheduled a live for 8:30 tonight. 8:30 tonight, I'm going to be ripping packs. But if you and Nostalgianomics are still going when I'm done, maybe nobody buys packs. Maybe I'm done in half an hour and I'll be there right at 9. But I do plan to pop in later if you guys are still going. Looking forward to your chat with Alex tonight. So yeah, go. Ideally, check out me. Check out me and then buy some packs, and then we can all raid Alex's stream afterwards if he's still going. Thanks, Cornhub. Cornhub, you might have to enable receiving gifts. Looks like Cornhub didn't get one of the gifts, but we got a lot of new check marks in there. I did not go back and watch that whole stream with Harry, with that lab Frank is what his YouTube username is. But I literally, I forget if it was fairly late. I forget if I just finished up with dinner, just whatever it was. I popped out my phone. I had an alert that John posted on his community page. I clicked in, and then a gold star got pulled. I guess I'll leave people hanging so that they go and check out the stream themselves. But I watched a gold star be pulled on the first pack that I saw. I just watched for a couple minutes. Josh is getting in trouble because he just got called out for looking by the gifted sub. Retro's not very happy with him because he says he doesn't watch any Pokemon content, but he's lurking in mine. So, oh man. Am I buying Lord of the Ring MTG collector's boxes? No, I don't have access. I believe you need to have a brick and mortar to buy Wizards of the Coast through distribution. So that's one of those things where, like I said, I do not like to try to compete buying at market. I like to buy collections for sub-market. Huge collection for like 50 to 80% of market, depending on what it is. I like to buy wholesale product at 50 to 60% of retail. I like to have kind of like a leg up. There is so much opportunity in Pokemon. There are some like oddball plays that I do make buying stuff just at full market and then like grading them. That's definitely a play still. But there are more opportunities to spend all of my cash flow at sub-market, sub-retail. So why would I pay full retail on anything? That's my whole thought process. I always say, don't go broke on good deals and then miss out on the great ones. There are enough great deals every day, every week, every month, every year for me to go broke. So it's more like don't go broke on the great deals and miss out on the once in a lifetime deals. I feel like I've been in the hobby for 9 years now, back in the hobby. I feel like I've already bought 5 once in a lifetime collections. So like every other year I've been buying a once in a lifetime collection, and you need to have the cash flow capital ready. And I don't want to be broke sitting on $200 or $300 MTG collector boxes that I bought from Rudy or bought from eBay or Amazon in at the same price as everyone else. I want to be the one selling the product at market, having bought it sub-market, sub-retail. Sent my first PSA submission through Dave & Adams Europe, 20 euros per card, but I still think it's worth it. Is that the same as Dave & Adams Card World from like Buffalo, New York? I did not realize they had a Europe branch. That's awesome. Good luck on the grades, and appreciate you for buying packs. Open packs while you're on their live. Um, in today's age, do you believe YouTube helps your business's success, or could you be just as successful without being on YouTube? I think I could be just as successful not being on YouTube in a lot of ways, but like my consignment business, it is crucial to have the public facing image, to have like hopefully, I am trustworthy and honest and all that good stuff. People really need to believe that, and people really need to buy into that to be willing to send me their cards. I mean, it's a very like risky thing if you don't know the individual, if you don't believe you can trust them, all that. So I think having the public facing image, showing that I'm a trustworthy, honorable guy who knows what he's doing, that fully opened the door to do like the Patreon with Jake. That fully opened the door to do the consignments. That fully opened the door for that the collection that came to me. A lot of my sourcing is almost done for me because people just reach out to me. That said, there are people who make no content whatsoever that are absolutely killing it. Like, if you look on a direct basis how much money I'm making for this hour I'm live, I could have made a lot more pre-grading cards for PSA, pre-grading cards for BGS, CGC. I could have made a lot more scouring eBay, scouring various buying sites. So my direct hourly is less, but long term for like the brand, for all that stuff, I think overall, all things considered, my interaction with YouTube over the past 2 years, I think I'm further ahead than if I had not done it 5 years from now. Like today, I would probably have more money in my bank account. I would probably have less of a backlog. I would probably be ahead on paper by some metrics, having not had one. Because every hour, every minute I put into YouTube, I would have just grinded on inventory, on processing, making sales. But like a lot of the intangibles, a lot of the brand that I'm building, I think that will pay off years down the line and over time. So that's why I'm doing it. Plus, I'm having fun with it too. Like I'm genuinely having fun in these lives and all these interactions. So I'm very, very happy that I did. Very thankful. Nick, I mean, my first video on my YouTube over 2 years ago now was the podcast with Nick. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy that Nick reached out to me after multiple people declined doing a podcast with him. I'm very thankful I was his third choice. And had that not happened, I may have had a YouTube eventually anyways, but that was the thing that got me like over that threshold. And yeah, I'm where I'm at now because of everything that's happened, right? So it can be done, but me, what I'm doing now and how I'm doing it, YouTube really helps. There's a lot of intangibles, indirect benefits. Timing question: with activity picking up for tag team, what set/expansion would you put next in line to start building out? Again, I really don't look back. One thing I'll say, if the price just 2x'd on something or 10x'd, it could 2 or 10x again. But if something everyone starts talking about and the price goes up like crazy, I'm less likely to buy into it now because like I was here for the past 8 years, 9 years. I wasn't buying it. I wasn't buying Mimikyu and Gengar when it was 400. I sold one when it was 600 like a month ago. And now it's like $2,000 or something crazy. That's one thing I'll caution people on. If you buy into every hype wave, if you buy into WotC in 2020, buy into Mid-Era in 2021, you buy into Japanese tens in 2022, you buy into tag teams, you're probably going to be left holding a lot of bags. Disproportionately, when prices go up on something, I'm more likely to sell it and or not buy it. And if the prices go down and all the fundamentals are still the same, I'm more likely to buy it. But people's psychology, they buy high, they sell low. Like you gotta get past that like human psychology that's built in because it's so detrimental. It's so damaging to so many people. I do see some do see some packs filtering in. I appreciate you guys. Oh man. But I guess I didn't directly answer your question. Whatever one you find the most value in, try to drown out all the noise. Try to drown out all the FOMO, all the hype. What set? Look at how much it's going to cost you. What set actually brings you the most value? Not what set will get the most likes on Instagram. Not what is your favorite YouTuber talking about, even if that's me. What set truly brings you the most value? I just don't do investing in Pokemon. I don't do speculating on long-term values. I'm doing flips, basically. I'm trying to buy stuff at below market, sell it at market. Trying to buy stuff at market, grade it, sell it for a premium. a lot of this stuff, there are things relative to others that seem undervalued, and I'm disproportionately buying more of those and or selling less of them. But at the end of the day, like, buy where you see value. Do you focus on admin, stock, listings, snacks work when your plays are dried up, or do you look for more plays? I've never been at a point where I didn't have something to do. There's always so many plays out there. There's always, like, in the back of my mind, I should be doing more of this. I should be buying more of those. If and when that day comes, I'll let you know. But, like, yeah, I've not yet run into that. I've not yet had a day where I, like, need to stare at the pizza tracker because I don't have anything to do. People are going to feel the shots fired on that one. 5 more minutes, so I'm going to try to, like, rapid fire these last few questions. I really appreciate everyone hanging out. 100 is a pretty solid turnout for me. I will be live tonight at 8:30 p.m. for a little bit, opening some packs. But yeah, let me rip through some of these questions. So I have a buddy who has an inverted stamp promo Electabuzz. I'm trying to buy it off him, or at least convince him to grade it. Do you think CGC would be better since it's an error? I think PSA recognizes the error now, but it all depends on condition. I think the bigger number, the better. If CGC will give you the bigger number, go with them. If PSA will give you the bigger number, I would say go with them, personally. What do you think of reverse hauls from Legendary Collection? Seems like good arbitrage grading them, but hard to find good raw copies. I don't personally like them that much. I know that when I got back into the hobby, the sentiment was more in line with my sentiment in that I'm not a big fan. I just really don't like the look. I don't like reverse hauls in general, and those ones I just don't like. A lot of people didn't like them, and then the prices went up, and then a lot of people that didn't like them started liking them. Again, feeding into that whole thing I just talked about. Like, don't like things because everyone else does. Don't like things just because the price is higher. But at the end of the day, like, if you like them, there's liquidity there if you buy them right. If you buy them right and price them well, they will sell. I will say that. There's good liquidity there at the right price. Liquidity is always a function of price. So if you can buy right, just about anything can be liquid. What's the next once in a lifetime question? Must be collection. Must be the Battle Styles blister packs. I have no idea. Like, I did not find the last one. It found me because of the YouTube, because of all that, because someone recommended them to me in Low Popping's Discord, I believe. But you never know. You never know what the next one's going to be. I want to get back to where I browse eBay more often, but I really don't even browse eBay much. I go on eBay to buy high quantity of certain cards to grade. I go on TCG Player. I go on Japanese websites to buy high quantities of certain cards to grade. Other than that, though, like, most of my recent collection buys have just been, I guess I was doing Heritage and Golden and PWCC for a while, buying big collections and breaking them down, but doing less of that recently. Not buying Dan's nice guy act, to be honest. I've seen the dark side many IPAs deep. Yeah, David Adams is massive. Did you collect and invest in any sports cards during the boom? I did not. I bought a few, again, as a consumer. I bought some Igor Shesterkin rookie cards because I think he's a monster. Really young guy. Rangers took over for Henrik Lundqvist. And I wanted to have a little bit of exposure, I guess, to hockey rookies that I liked, hockey rookie cards that I liked. So I picked up a few Shesterkins. No, they're not listed. No, like, they don't owe me anything. If and when they don't perform, that's perfectly fine. I'm not expecting them to. Appreciate you, Mocha Boy. Dan, the bridesmaid of the hobby, talking about Nick being Nick's third pick or whatever. I sold a Latios and Latias alt art for like $50 right after Team Up came out, and you got a good price at the time, and you've done more with the money since. Like, people that weren't buying them for 50 then are falling over themselves to buy them for 500 now. Like, it's crazy to me. The card hasn't changed. When it comes to base, jungle, and fossil, are unlimited more valuable than second edition? There is no second edition. There's base set 2, which is as close to second edition as you can get, I guess. But yeah, there's first edition, and then with base there's shadowless as well. There's unlimited. Jungle and fossil, there's just first edition and unlimited. There are really weird 99 to 2000 variants, I guess. There is like the no symbol jungle, getting really into the nitty gritty. But I don't know if that's what you mean by second edition, but First edition is the most valuable. Some of the niche stuff, like 99 to 2000 fossil hollows, those are probably even more valuable in certain instances. But that's like getting way into the weeds. Have you noticed the margins have decreased quite a bit in the flipping plays? Some from 2020, yeah, but like, man, they're still out here. There are insane margins to be had in many places. I'm not gonna list my whole playbook right now, but there are margins to be had. That's all I'll say. Hi Dan, I was wondering, is there any kind of database that shows how many waves or print runs every or even most set has had? The most thorough thing I've ever seen on estimated print runs, I will say estimated print runs, is what I generated myself. It is locked behind a paywall. If you're one of those people who hates paywalls, I apologize, and don't click the link below. But if you want to join Patreon, Jake and I from Pokenomics run a private Discord, and we compile different sets of data every month for a presentation on different aspects of the hobby. I think it was last year sometime, and I keep them up. So like in July, we should be getting new print run numbers. It was 9.1 billion last year. We'll get the new number this year, and then I will try to allocate that print run to what sets it went to. Other than that, though, it's all anecdotal. It's all like people trying to say my distributor sold me this many waves this many times. At the end of the day, like my best guess is just that it's just my best guess. But at the end of the day, like with the data they've given us, you can get reasonable approximations on how many of each chase card were produced by Era, in my opinion. So yeah, it's there behind the paywall if anyone's interested. I need to see some Auras content playing for my dopamine hit. I will do more down the line, probably not anytime soon though. Any plays that are about to implode, I like getting in just as the rug get pulled. Absolutely. I'm really interested to see how these Nagaba, I don't know how to say it exactly, but I'm interested to see how that play goes. I have several hundred packs already ordered. A lot of people are buying a lot of those packs. I'm very interested to see. It's one of those plays that's like so obvious. It's guaranteed. It's blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. That's what people say. If people just grade 100 of them and auction them all same week, they could go pretty low. People could get wrecked off that. So that might implode. Long term, I'm confident in it. So I'm buying what I'm buying. I'm going heavy, relatively heavy. But your average player invested in carbon dioxide. What is low pop nowadays? I mean, nowadays pops hit 4 figures really quick. So I guess anything sub 4 figures would be like low pop relative to modern. What is the fastest grading company and why is it CGC? Yeah, it's absolutely CGC, and there's value in that for sure. CGC, the Little Caesars of grading, cards hot and ready. There are times for CGC and there are times for Little Caesars as well. Little Caesars is not the best pizza you can have, but there is a time and a place for Little Caesars. There's a time and a place for CGC. And again, at the end of the day, I love the product. It's better than PSA's product. It's quicker. It's cheaper. The margin's not as great, but the turnaround is amazing. So pros and cons, there's some of them. I really like it overall. So I need to sell all my tag teams, fine, twist my arm. I have very few. I've sold most, but at the end of the day, they could go up 10x from here. Who knows? If they announce a smaller amount, do you think this could affect the market in any way? Is that on? I don't know what that's on. But I've got to take off. I'm going to answer the last couple. And then, what are your thoughts about BGS Labs for Shadow first edition base hollows? People talking about 9.5 gem mint. It is a PSA 10. My thoughts, no way. Yeah, I mean, most 9.5s wouldn't be a 10. Otherwise, they would be a 10. Otherwise, they would be in that case. 9.5s are just really clean, nice 9s mostly. What are some modern Pokemon cards 2016 plus and PSA 10 do you see as sleepers? Everything raw that you can grade for a margin. I'm not investing in any of these cards. Buy them, grade them, sell them. That's what I'm doing. I will def jump if y'all bring me Little Caesars. What's your take on work-life balance? It's a non-specific term often used, but do what makes you happy in the moment. in the short term, long term. It's about, you got to optimize. You got to optimize for everything, right? Like I'm going to the zoo tomorrow. I'm doing this live today and my pack stream tonight because I'm going to the zoo tomorrow. My son has a field trip to the zoo. So my daughter and I are going to go meet my wife and my son at the zoo and going to take the day off, and it's going to make me less money. It's going to cost me money. It's going to cost me money instead of making me money, but you got to enjoy life. Life is short. Spend time with people you love and have a good time with, and zoo stream tomorrow. Let's go. But yeah, work-life balance is huge. It's very like non-specific. It's case by case. It's all about you. Like, depending on there is like an opportunity cost in spending your time. If otherwise you're going to be sitting around playing video games, sure, grind the listings, grind the pre-grading, grind all that stuff. But at the end of the day, if you've got time you could spend with family, other people, the opportunity cost is higher, right? Like if I'm missing time with my wife and kids, like right now I'm 5 minutes into overtime answering this question. High opportunity cost, bad. I'm working overtime. I've got to I don't know what this is, but I'm going to time this guy out. I'm going to be ending here, though. 5 minutes late. Very bullish on Spicy Boys TV. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I will be live at 8:30 tonight in about 4 hours. I will catch you all.